Got to do it in the last two, and when I was rewatching back one of the VODs, I could hear myself or my fans going off a lot more than I would have liked them to. I know it's Arizona, but I'll just suffer through the heat because I don't really want them being picked up by the audio. It's kind of late at night for me, but I couldn't really fall asleep. I was just reviewing one of the ones I uploaded earlier today, just critiquing myself. Felt like doing another. I actually really do want to finish the cblol finals between Payne and Loud, because I thought Loud looked pretty impressive. But once again, I want to check out all of the minor regions, at least the ones that have historically been a threat, or not a threat, I guess, but have had like a chance of being a dark horse. Obviously, Vietnam was looking pretty good in 2019. Unfortunately, due to COVID, like they've been pretty absent for the last 2 years. Um, the Buffalo had like a decent moment at MSI where they 2v2 killed Gumacaria in the bot lane, but aside from that, there's not much to expect out of these two. Gigabyte Marines have historically always been the Vietnamese team to come out of the region, though, so surprising to see. Uh, Actually, well, it's been one of these two teams. Although in the past, when Saigon Buffalo came, I think they were Phong Vu Buffalo. But just taking a look at this, looks like we're on patch 12.15. So the Zeri Lucian bans strike me as pretty standard. So does the Ari one. The Aphelios one is kind of unusual. He's like in that like he's not S plus tier, right? He's no Sivir Zeri on this patch. And he's not S tier, he's not Lucian. But if you go in the A tier, I think he's there. It's possible that the AD carry player for Saigon Buffalo is also like a really strong Aphelios player, like maybe like Prince level. Or maybe not Prince level, but like in this region, he's like their equivalent like Prince player. In which case, I could see the Aphelios drawing a ban. I like the Wukong ban, another Draven ban. So a lot of AD carries taken off the table. Um, Honestly, I think Saigon Buffalo should first pick Kalista, since the Draven is the biggest counter to the champion, and it's already been taken care of. We'll just see how. Yep, Kalista pick. I think pretty huge. I mean, I think the equivalent trade you could take over here for Gigabyte is if you pick like a Seraphine lane, then I think this champion's really fucked. But if you trade an AD carry, there's nothing really like. I mean, I guess Ashe is a pretty solid counter, even though she's not really meta. He'll be the first pick connected. I don't dislike the pick. Varus pokes his head again. We did see Caps play him in Europe mid lane, and he has shown up a few times, funnily enough, in the AD carry position. I believe in was it the Chinese qualifiers tournaments for third and fourth place. I actually think Varus is in a pretty good spot. Oh, I knew the Buffalo players because they were obviously at MSI, but I'm happy to see Levi on a team. This guy was crazy, got poached by NA, taken to 100 Thieves, sat on the Academy roster for like a year or 2 years, despite being one of the best junglers in the world. And he was in a minor region player, and then I guess he just came back to his team. We see Renata Aatrox selected. I actually really like this 1-2-3 B1 and B2-3 for Saigon Buffalo. I think Kalista Renata is really, really cracked as a duo. You just get a lot more value out of the Kalista Spears, because you can, like, if you die before you rend, it doesn't matter if Renata W's on you. Tom Kench Varus is a pretty safe trade back. Obviously, if you're Tom Kench, you can just eat before the Renata wave comes out, and as long as you eat your AD carry, no one should die to the Berserk. Wave 2 bans. Galio ban comes through. He was fairly present in summer for like LPL, but aside from that, like he wasn't really present in playoffs, and I haven't really seen him in much else aside from like the disastrous game 5 from TL versus EG. Vi ban coming through with the Wukong ban coming through as well. I would expect Poppy to be banned next by Saigon Buffalo. Otherwise, I think Gigabyte should just pick the Poppy. Yeah, Trundle ban coming through, like, Poppy needs to be banned. Because if there's no Trundle, there's no response to the Poppy. We'll see what ends up happening, though. Sejuani ban. Now I'm even more confused. I definitely feel like Poppy is still an S tier jungler. And she's even good into the Sejuani. I mean, Xin Zhao and Poppy are like the only two jungle champs left up. Unless we're going like into the trenches of the jungle pool. This Rice pick is awful. This Rice champion is so useless. I think we saw Doingby try and play it in game 5 of one of their series, and god is it so useless. Actually, I think Pantheon is pretty strong. He wasn't seen much on this patch, but at least on like live, and to my knowledge, nothing has happened to change the champion. Like, it's just that certain champs have fallen out of the meta between 12.15 and 12.17. But like with the Bork, this dude is like, I don't know, Bork's just overtuned. Bork and Sunfire, what can you do about it? Talia pick, pretty standard. Aside from the Pantheon pick, because I think they should have just taken Poppy, this team comp is monster OP. And I think these two are pretty weak. I mean, Levi like was a really good Lee Sin, so it's like, I think Lee Sin's pretty poor in this meta, right? Like, you're picking Lee Sin into Talia, like that fucking sucks, doesn't it? Plus, if you know Levi's gonna play Lee Sin because he's like a good Lee Sin player, then the Poppy is even more broken. Like, I just don't understand why BJ wouldn't pick Poppy. Maybe he just doesn't know how to play it and like not practice, but like, why would you not have practiced the Poppy after she's been meta for like 3 patches? Anyways, on paper, I still think Saigon Buffalo's comp should roll and smoke Gigabyte Marines. But obviously Gigabyte Marines 3-0 to them, and they're in the group stage, whereas Buffalo will be in play-ins. So clearly something went wrong. Let's just hop into the game and see how it ends up panning out. Given Shogun and Taki's level of play, I would expect them to be able to pilot this cluster auto fairly efficiently. Let's just see how things start for the game. So Aatrox, so both junglers are starting topside with their top laners leasing them. Taki and Shogun are looking for some early chunk damage. No one came and warded this bush right here. Oh, actually, good trade. Style starts E. Tom Kench is getting actually pretty good chunk damage off the Taki for no reason. But they do have push, so I think they need to respect. Wow, 3 tongue lashes in a row. Taki is just taking it. 4, holy. And he doesn't get the handshake into the Tom Kench. Crazy value. It's already 1 potion pumped. Although the Tom Kench's mana pool is hurting a little bit, so there's that to be careful of. They're crashing the wave on wave 2. Actually, it's good for them, though, because Levi could look for a gank. Levi actually cleared pretty fast, I think. Oh, BJ, what the fuck are you doing, man? Wait, let's just go back. Like, you both had info that the Lee Sin is starting topside. He's pathing like he wants to invade. If Levi had already done blue buff, right, and he's on the Gromp, like, this would be atrociously bad for BJ. How did he see him? What? How could he stun from this position? Did he ward? Huh? He autos inside the bush, and then W's him inside the bush with no ward. Vision is effed right now, isn't it? Levi looking to turn because he has mid push. They want to turn onto Cody though. Turns back around. Not able to finish, and he flashes into the wolf pit. Too bad your bot lane is 10 light years away from you. Okay, this guy's just running it down. So, like, I don't know. I guess the idea is somewhat solid, right? Because he's actually not this slow. Levi took the blast gun, right? But if the blast gun's here and Levi had to just like ran down blast gun then, I think maybe the timing would have been like just in smite range. But regardless, since Levi did Grump, and it's not a bad guess to guess that. Like Red Raptor's Grump for a champion that wants level 3 as quick as possible isn't a terrible guess. I still think this vision part is troll. Like I have no clue how he gets to auto and W him with no vision in this bush. I guess blue buff attacking gives vision. Gets a good combo out. Levi goes back in, smites the blue buff for HP. He ends up smiting. Here, I think is troll though. I think you can see why, right? He W's back onto Levi because he thinks he could secure the kill. Levi's popping his potion, currently going up. Like, I don't know, man. You're at... If he can get one more... No, actually, he does get the auto off. He just does enough damage, man. You're a Conqueror. Didn't his stacks fall off? Wait, let's see the Conqueror stacks. I think maybe he got baited by his Conqueror stacks. Yeah, they just timed out. If he has Conqueror, he kills here. But he doesn't have Conqueror. And then he just panic flashes over the wall. Gets flash followed and now this Bryce jump that is so useless gets to actually be a part of the game. It's actually pretty bad for Shogun and Taki too because they lost a wave trying to help their jungler out and get nothing out of it. So, like, I'm curious why he's allowed to do that. Like, does the blue buff give vision? I need to test that in a practice game. But, like, anyways, we already went through this, so... I guess I don't need to rewind. Holy, Vietnam actually does replays. Good sidestep there from Taki. So, like, Callisto Renata should be up, like, honestly, 10 CS by this. No, maybe that's too much. Maybe, like, a wave. Maybe 6 CS, but I believe they're down because of the way things panned out. Yeah, has a really good wave positioning here. If you can thin it before the gank so that, like, the minions don't absolutely slaughter. Actually, they managed to bypass most of the wave. But the Renekton is taking a lot of damage. I don't like this by Hazmat. Look at how big the wave is. 5 mages, and then a whole cannon wave right here, right? I think, like, yeah, gets, like, 2 more mages. Oh, I didn't mean to minimize it. Dashes in. Like, yeah, your wave is close to the tower, but you're not going to escape from here. Both still have flash, right? Renekton is on top of you, about to stun you. Play to your wave. Look how much damage. Like this is good. The WQ is good. And then he dodges, right? Kite, like, I mean, it's kind of trolled that the cannon is targeting him here. But, like, kite with the wave, man. Like, why are you... I mean, I guess it's 1 for 2 flashes, but, like, now your wave's gonna freeze. Like, kite with the wave, at the very least, try and push the shit in. Look at this shit. Oh. Now you have to TP and come push the wave, and guess what? You already know the fucking jungler's topside. So he's just gonna come gank you. Like, look, he has to TP here. Because he can't let the wave sit like this. Yeah, Renekton's gonna base and TP and try and keep the freeze. So, like, you have to TP and push for your timer. But if Renekton's baiting and Lee Sin is just sitting on this tri-pink, like, you're just dead. Here's the replay. Ends up going okay for the Renekton, but he has to take, like, a really poor base. Yeah, he's just getting slaughtered, isn't he? I actually don't think Renekton had to go Tab Ice here. I think Tab Ice is, like, pretty meaningless into Aatrox. Like, it's good against the team comp, right? So, like, he should get Tab Ice at some point. But, like, you don't get as much value out of the Aatrox because he autos you once, and, like, yeah, the Aatrox passive auto does, like, a lot of damage, but it's less about, like, the damage that it's doing to you and more about, like, the massive heal it gives him. Like, I mean, I mean, buying boots is good into Aatrox anyways, though, because extra movement speed lets you to like dodge out of his Qs more. So like I can see why he wants to buy it, but like also like you're ahead, you got the kill. You should be up in experience based on how like those waves ended up panning out. I think just fuck it, buy like a pickaxe or a vamp scepter, like index into your damage, and then fist fight this guy over and over again. Any other champion, and I say yeah, buy Tabais, but like with the Renekton, like you're also not gonna lose a mana economy battle. This poor guy's just stuck outside your tower, and you can just permanently fist fight him every time you want. Yeah, look, like you're fist fighting him anyways. You didn't get hit by a single spell of Aatrox. Not because like your movement speed let you run out, but because like your E let you dodge everything. So like imagine if he had pickaxe for that. This Hosmed would be like 0 HP. Anyways, those two are just gonna keep fighting out. You see here, like Kalista's down in CS, and like yeah, the wave's pushing into her, so she'll be like net like I don't know, probably 2 CS up if she lasts everything well, but like Levi's coming down for a dive, your jungler's behind on tempo. Why is the Pantheon behind on tempo? Let me look at the mini map. Why did it take him 10 years to kill the Gromp? Wait, what's he doing? Walks up to get a pink? It's just sitting outside mid lane for no reason. There's no gank happening there. Decides to walk back on his lonesome to his Gromp. Is doing his Gromp. How long does it take him to do the Gromp? It took him so long to do the Gromp. What the hell? I guess he has one longsword. He's so poor. And now Levi's already on his way bot lane. Looks like they don't want to dive though. Obviously, Renata W makes it pretty difficult to dive, just in case, like, once again, like, Kalista Renata allows, more so than any other carry, allows, like, abuse of Renata W, just because you can stack your spears, die, and then get to execute with the spears and come back to life. It's really cringe. Dragon has started up, but it looks like Gigabyte Marines are actually worried about a turn. I don't know if they need to be, but then again, like, Talia is just 10 times the champ that rises, so maybe they should be scared. Double Cleanse opted for in the Summoner spells. I guess really fearing the Renato ulti. I mean, that's really like the big cleanse, right? That's what they're taking it for. Sure, you can cleanse the Talia's stun, but you're really taking it for this thing. Good Q onto Kiaya, but like obviously Renekton's just gonna be sitting at half HP and Fury. I think in like an extended trade, Husband should still win, but there's just like no point. Because obviously an extended trade will never be allowed by the Renekton. He'll just stun and dash away. Froggy's low on mana. Has Spellbook. I don't know if his TP is up, but he has the heal, and I guess he wants to hold on to it. So pulls his jungle over for a base timing, as well as his support. Support's here to match. Cuddy is just going to match the base timing. Actually, I don't know if this cleanse could be a Spellbook cleanse. I would guess it is. I would guess it's a Spellbook cleanse. I would assume he base DP'd with here around like the 4-minute mark. But I wasn't keeping my eye on the minimap because I believe there was the bot lane fight happening. Or not the bot lane fight. In the jungle. That was earlier than that. That was at like 3:15. Probably it was the top gank that was happening at the time. Really good damage by Husband. Yeah, it does get the wave shoved in though. Donkey's face checking. He's I guess safe. I don't know. I thought maybe Levi would just force a play there, but he doesn't have flash kick. He'd have to ward kick. And I guess he's worried about like the handshake interrupting him. Okay, so let's rewind here. Decent vision for both teams. Everyone is rotating. LPL style. Fuck this shit, we're fighting the Herald. Hosman's 40% HP, so is Kiaya, but both have ults and they're both sustained champs. He's ulting on Vision, so they know the Pantheon is ulting in here, because like where else would he be ulting? Like, he'll get decent damage if he hits with the ult, but also, like, why would they not just engage on Hosmid? Hosmid will have to dash over the wall, and then the Pantheon's isolated because his damage is still in the middle lane. I'm assuming is what's going to end up happening here. Yep, ult dashes over the wall. Pantheon has found himself in the middle of the enemy team. Did he manage to get to steal that? I think he did. Massive fucking Varus ult value, though. Gets the cleanse. Good knockup by Taki. Oh, Kiaya goes down, unfortunately. Oh my god. Levi. Damn, I haven't seen this guy in 2 years and he's already cranked out of his mind again. So, like, honestly, this fight can go, like, is on a knife's edge at this point, right? Your top Kench doesn't have Eat, so he's useless in the fight anyways. So he's actually getting crazy value, just, like, making sure that the Aatrox can't go in here. The Varus ult ends up rooting 3 people and forces the cleanse out of Shogun, right? Which means he gets hit by the root and is forced to flash away. So this is actually scary here now, though, right? Because your Aatrox has got an isolated 1v1 with the Varus. Your Ryze, Lee Sin are pinned against the wall with Lee Sin on 20% HP. He's stunned? This is kind of troll. Okay, I guess they're not in range. I mean, Froggy's not in range, right? He can't hit spells onto Levi. But, like, I think Shogun should be auto-attacking Levi here. But instead he's auto-attacking the Ryze. And then Levi just goes in. Did he already have the Q hit? Let me see. I think he'd already had the Q hit onto Shogun. Was he not aware? Unfortunate, Renekton just gets one shot there before getting Q with Max Fury. Okay. Yeah, he already has the Q on Shogun, and I guess Shogun just forgot? It wasn't even like the fastest flash timing I've seen. He just doesn't have flash, and I guess is unable to react to it. Gets a massive kick, delivers Shogun right to the Ryze. It's not one yet, just because Renata W is still there, and if they can get the reset onto Levi, they just need him to die first before they kill. Oh, he did die. Okay, they get the reset. Style manages to pick up a kill here. It's kind of split. BJ is, like, huge. Full HP, full mana. This guy's still ready to go. Yeah, Style just respects and runs away. Good flash by Kadi to get out. Ends up being 1 for 2, and I think BJ did end up killing the Herald. I don't know if anyone picked it up, though. No one picked it up. That's a rip. So I guess Gigabyte Marines did successfully defend the Herald. I guess that's what we'll look for in the replay. Yeah. They would have picked it up if they'd gotten it. So I guess they just successfully keep like, Husband should have picked it up. This isn't. Go pick it up, dude. He contributes nothing from this point of the fight on. Look, he's just running around. Autos the Tom Kench once, walks up, forces the flash out. Oh my god, Husband could have gotten the Herald and then it's a monster play. Instead it's just sort of meh. I mean, like, obviously they get their kill gold back and they get the Herald local gold, so it's not, like, terrible, but it would have been such a fucking massive play. Good dash by Kia. Kiaya? Kia? Or Kiaya? Kiaya? I'll have to research more before Worlds, like, what these players' names are. I probably won't put any of the group stage matches. Maybe I'll do some of the group stage matches and put them up here, if they're, like, games that I'm not as invested in, but I'll probably do the play-in stages as well. Except for, like, I don't know, like the major region teams playing against each other. As long as it's not like a match where I'm, like, invested in it and I don't have, like, a clear bias, right? Like, I'm not going to put T1 EDG on this channel because I will have a bias in the cast. I just want to enjoy the game as a fan, to be honest. Shogun kind of... He doesn't have flash, and Levi had Warthog, but I think he should have died for that. But I guess they just have no information on Pantheon Renata. I don't know. That was looking a bit dicey for Shogun down there. Holy, wait. Nice kill on Kiaya. Excuse me. It's actually a solid 1k gold lead now for Saigon. Don't really know how. I mean, I know how. It's because this delay champ is 5 times more useful than the Rise. And Varus is actually, like, not that much more useful than Kalista. Okay, so just the Pantheon ult to gank. Hosmid was kind of baiting with his HP bar, and unfortunately Gaia is just not able to complete the kill without ultimate. I should be in a decent spot, though, soon. This champ just hasn't been better since, like, his mana scalings got nerfed to nerf, like, just rushing Everfrost, Fimbulwinter, Frozen Heart because it was stupid. Is the crown build opted for by Cody? Okay, I'm pretty sure that cleanse is not spellbook at this point because he's been holding it for like 4 minutes, and surely he would have used it by now. But obviously the ghost is cleanse. He does have flash in his first summoner slot. Okay, Taki kind of missed the Varus. Maybe it was intentional to knock up the Tom Kench though, to prevent the eat. Eat does end up coming through anyways though. They do just get a nice clean kill onto TK though. Levi's here, which is why Styles not really backing up. Just a reset for BJ. Dragon a minute 40. I'd expect him to just go tank his topside camps and then head out to capture that one. Hosmid kind of trolls his Qs, does at least get part of the Q3, but I think he's losing this fight. Good flash. Oh wow, Kiai is just running this guy in circles. Oh my god. This guy's monster gapping the enemy top laner. I think Hosmid's in a lot of positions to like win these two. He's just trolling them. I don't know. Well, I do know, but like ults early, misses Q. Well, I guess not ults early, but like he's like ulting as he's running back, so he gets like minimum value out of it, and then just yeah, that final sidestep on the Q is just making him look silly. Okay, Pantheon ult onto the Rise. No flash. Holy, that should never happen. Where's the Pantheon W, man? Like he'd already started ult. Sidesteps that. He's just out of range? Surely flash Wing is worth it, no? Because you get mid push, possibly mid tower, and river setup. Like, yeah, Kati will be alive by the time the dragon respawns, but like you don't have time to be in position. I guess they get mid prio anyways. I don't know. It feels like that would have been worth the Pantheon flash. I guess he wants it for the Drake fight, but Levi's just trading on the Herald. Okay, it could be a dive. Good route by the Varus. Tom Kench is almost here. Flashes toward his Tom Kench, but unfortunately his Tom Kench was Wing, and also doesn't have ult. Bad flash, I think. Bad flash. Let's see. Is there a specific spell he's flashing? No, he's not flashing anything. Stay under the tower, man. They could have won that if he just stayed under the tower. If he flashes down, like right here, or not right here yet, right? Like, I understand why he wants to kite to Tom Kench, but Tom Kench should have already said no eat. Like, as he's walking down, like, before they've even dove, he should say, like, eat in 5, right? And at this point, the Bear should know. Like, I'm assuming Tom Kench is coming his eat cooldown, right? Like, eat in 3, eat in 3. Or I guess it's more than that. Like, eat in 6? 4? Like, he should know that he's not going to live that long. He should be kiting down. Like, look at the tower damage. Like, he could have at least traded 1 for 1, or maybe even 1 for 2. Well, is Bia gonna die for his sins as well? Nah, he should be pretty safe. Pretty ambitious. Good flash on the Q timing. Holy. Unfortunately, Shogun doesn't tank tower aggro. Good juggling by Saigon. Really good juggling. I still think more of a misplay by Style than it was an outplay by Shogun. A TP comes through from the Rise. Well, they're actually gonna get the Drake. Oh my god. Levi gets to fucking take the Herald and then the Drake. And there's no Cloud Soul, so it's gonna be a useful one. Imagine Mountain Soul and fucking Bork Renekton with the Kalista as your AD carry, so she can't get LDR. You just absolutely will never kill this guy. I think not much to see with that replay. BJ is walking over this word right now. That's so greedy of Cody. Why is he EQing that? Like, you know the Pantheon's there, man. Oh, this guy gets away with... I guess he's heal flash. BJ no flash, but like... I'd be surprised if they knew the exact timer for this Starfall. Like, Pantheon could ult there. And you don't have Rise ult, so you would have just died if that happened 3 seconds later. Anyways, 3k gold lead for the side of Saigon. Pretty solid. I don't know how much further they need to be ahead with Kalista Renata. Normally, like, the issue with Kalista scaling, right, is that her range falls off. And the fact that she can't index into crit and armor penetration as easily as other AD carries makes her, like, pretty useless into tanky champions. She does have that second problem still, but luckily for her in this game, there's 3 melee champs, and then another equally short range AD carry in the Varus, and a fairly short machine gun mage in the Rise. So, like, her range is never truly going to be the issue. Oh, let's get another look at this. Houseman missing everything. Okay, Rift Herald summoned. Varus ult comes through onto Renata. She trades back with her ultimate, only hits the Rise. Grant Starfall comes through. You make sure that BJ doesn't... Oh! The Varus damage, holy fuck. That's troll by BJ, though. That's so troll. Talia is lucky to get away with her life, though. Let's see. Let's see the replay. I'm not gonna rewind because I know the replay's coming. Surely. Okay. So let's get this stuff. Everything. The Versal comes out, right? Doesn't connect onto Shogun. Huh? Shogun doesn't get rooted? Or does he cleanse the root? Because the Blight transfers to him, right? You can see... Oh no. He just was auto-attacked once. Okay, my bad, my bad. So Shogun and Taki actually get a lot of damage off onto Levi, and he's forced away before... Oh, I shouldn't say before he can do anything, because he did get a kick-off. We'll see it again. Seismic Shove is just completely in the middle of fucking nowhere. Where is this guy aiming? They break the crown. W onto this guy. Imagine if Talia had held her W. E combo. Holy. This guy's just dead, isn't he? I'm clicking too much. Levi kicks B&J before he gets knocked up by Taki and then flashes out. Like, like, what is he eating? What does he end up blocking? So far, nothing. An auto attack from Tom Kenshin, an auto attack from Varus. It's just a panic E from the Pantheon. He should be holding the spell. Varus is lethal tempo, right? So he will be going attack speed, but at this stage of the game, he should have like 1 item. So, right, like he's not gonna melt you in 2 seconds. And if he does, you could reactively E, because he has no way to like get behind you or anything, right? Same with the Rise. He's a machine gun mage. You need to see the spells before you bother E-ing. The Tom Kench is providing nothing. The top laners are doing their own thing, 1v1ing at the top side. So he ends up E-ing 0 damage. Meanwhile, even though the various autos aren't dealing damage, they are stacking up the Blight. And just because he's on hit doesn't mean that a W fully charged Q on a 3-stack target is not going to absolutely fucking murder them. And then BJ, I guess, wasn't paying attention to the fact that he had 3 Blight stacks on him and that the Varus Q was coming. Like, he's lucky here. He should be running, right? He should have already been anticipating this, but instead he was looking for another Q for some reason. Connie flashes forward. Luckily, his support has good mechanics. W's him. Instead of turning back because he's dead, no flash, he should just be looking to W this guy and trade kill. Like, Froggy's here, stun, EQ, bam, dead. Instead, he's running away, keeps running away before he realizes, oh, I'm dead. Oh my god. Um, Crown got some placebo buffs. I think it was 12, 14. I still don't think the item is that great. I think in this game, it actually does. It is pretty good. The only two champs that can really knock it off are Talia and Renata. Before a fight, at least. Unless maybe like a Callista Q hits, but once again. And like all three of those are fairly low chance, right? Which means odds are that Connie is going to eat an ultimate with his thing. Either he'll get hit with the Pantheon ult and then maybe a Pantheon W. Pantheon can wait it out though if he pops the crown with his ult. Aatrox could be going in on him and he'll negate that, or maybe Renata ult is coming through, in which case, even though the ult itself will pop his crown for like the first 2 seconds of style hitting him, then he'll take less damage. Root comes through at the Hosmed. Good CC chain into the wall. Oh, Gordrinker was decently timed, but unfortunately, Levi just one-shots on his current one-item spike. Actually, a bit confused. I was just saying earlier, like when I was talking about Callista, like this enemy team comp is really low range, so I can see why the Aatrox opted into Gordrinker. But also, like, there are 3 squishies, 1 pseudo tank, and 1 true tank. And like, even though he's a true tank, the Eclipse Cerildus build for Aatrox is like armor pen. So even though you're like lethality in quotes, you're actually like an armor pen build. I don't know, I think you should have gone the Eclipse build. I guess like they want more frontline for their mage and their AD carry, but this is kind of contradicting what I was saying in that cblol game. But like, even though there's 4 damage champs here, their damage is like conditional, right? So like, even though these 2 are DPS champs, like Talia needs to like hit her spells, right? She needs the Pantheon to hit his spells in order to hit hers and put out her damage. The Callista has a lot of execute damage, but she needs someone else to like initially start, like to like get characters to have HP while she's putting the spears in them. Unless she's monster fed, in which case it doesn't matter. Actually, quick itemization check. Dislike this, I think. Like, I don't know. Renekton, you're never going to get on top of Talia, Callista, Renata, just due to Talia stones and Renata kiting. So, like, your Gordrinker is only ever going to hit these 2 realistically in a fight. Maybe 3 if someone's positioning poorly. Adding on to the fact that, like, I mean, as you saw earlier in the CFO game, like, Pork, Tank, Renekton, even if you cringe the build and go Chem Tank instead of Sunfire, like, this shit is so oppressive. Like, Callista will never kill you, but whatever. Ferris build, pretty standard. So is the Rise build. He could have gone Everfrost, but, like, you're only going to be Everfrosting these 2, and I don't think they really mind eating an Everfrost root. So, I think it's a decent enough. My biggest question mark, honestly, looking at this, is the fucking Wit's End being built by the Renata. The Rise opted for a tankier build, less so of a damage build. So the only like high magic damage spells that you're really negating with Wit's End are Tom Kench Q and Varus W, if he manages to hit the Q. Both of those are skill shots that like you should be fine enough dodging with your cleanse as a Callista in these team fights. I think it would have made a lot more sense to go. I mean, you can go like GA, because Renekton's going to be permanently hounding you the whole game long. You could just go Bloodthirster and out-sustain the 2 of them. You could just go Runons for the spear value. I don't know. I think that's a really confusing third item for this guy. I mean, it's not really built yet, so it doesn't really matter for the straight fight, but it did end up being a mountain soul, though. So imagine if this guy had gone Work Sunfire. He would be fucking unkillable. Holy. As Saigon Buffalo getting their way into the river. Scuttle Vision for Gigabytes, so they're... It's a mountain, so it's not as reliable, but... Okay, this is how you do it. I like both of these teams. This is such an improvement from the PCS earlier. Okay. We'll just watch the rest of the fight. Oh, was that buffered? What buffered the Lee Sin Q? It's kind of a mess of a team fight, just gore drink and healing everywhere. Holy. We'll break it down in slow motion after. I mean, it's just a Renekton roll and smoke the enemy team. Holy. We'll watch the replay and critique from there. They're actually rotating over to the Baron. Yeah, they can't do that. Okay. I would have liked to see the setup before, but Kiaya was ahead of everyone else face checking in here. Like, good play. Your tank, your frontliner, is actually in the front line. Talia wall, really solid. And they Rise port in. Oh, what? How did they win this fight? Style didn't make it in time. Okay, wait. Let's just see what happens immediately on the port. I didn't know that Style didn't manage to make it in. It's actually maybe for the best. Okay, so the Renata ulti immediately comes through. Callista kick onto this guy. Cleanses the stun at the end, but was delivered to Rise. Just gets rooted. Why is he dashing in? That's a misclick from Shogun. Does that cost him? He's not dead yet. But if he'd clicked down, he could have kept kiting and fought Cotty. Wow, what a misclick. And of course, Renekton and Aatrox just aren't dying. Actually, I mean, decent eat by the Tomcats just to make sure that husband doesn't reset. Like, he dies in the end, but the Aatrox will had timed out, so he doesn't get, like, fat healing anymore. Pretty low. I mean, is it... Can you really even say that it's well played by Levi? But, like... what is the positioning from this team? Like, Levi came through the Rise ult, and Callista's just standing in front of him. Like, why is she standing? Oh my god. Kind of a panic Callista ult too. Like, Renata got to use her ult and then do nothing else because Callista immediately fooled her for Callista's own safety, because it's not like the Renata was in danger. Like, good kick. How does Levi survive this, actually? They turn onto him. Oh, he has stopwatch. And instead of just waiting him out and killing him, they make the decision to try and burst the Renekton? I don't know, that's a bit confusing. I guess they're trying to save Shogun. Fat Tom Kench W forces these two back, and these two are trapped. Levi just waits to execute the kill. Keck W. Wow, they won this without Style even here. And Froggy and Talkie just run away. I don't know. I mean, a solid mechanical place from Gigabyte Marines. I think Saigon Buffalo more like trolled the macro of that fight than anyone like played exceptionally well. But still, win's a win. We take those. WWW. Let's see, back on the map. Okay, never mind. So it looks like Cuddy does have TP. He just held the cleanse for like 10 years. I wonder when he actually ever ended up spending it. I have no clue. Maybe it was the Rift Hero fight. Overall, Gigabyte Marines actually still has a fair amount of their sums. So does Saigon, but like their Callista doesn't have any. So, oh, WQ damage. Luckily, the Callisto wasn't low HP, so it's not the execute damage doesn't really come through. But Gam force SGB back, get some turret poke, turret chip damage off. Excuse me. Looks like they wanted to finish the tower off, but a good Talia wall from Froggy to just delay the death of the tower. Cody rotated back top. Both the top laners have a bit of a, not exactly a roam timer, but it's not like terrible for them to leave their lanes and look for a play mid. Rise will finish pushing out the top wave. Should actually net this tower too. No response from the side of SGB. Instead, Froggy and Shogun are splitting CS mid, which kind of sucks. That's not even Gore Drinker Death Stance from the Renekton. It's Gore Drinker Sterix. I don't know. I think this build is troll. I think this shit sucks. It is intelligent of him to be the one to buy the Grievous Wounds. Aatrox isn't really going to auto-attack anyone, let alone the Tahm Kench. So it makes no sense to buy Thornmail on that guy. Lee Sin could... I don't know. The Lee Sin build is also troll. This guy... What is he getting? Is he also buying Sterix? What is wrong with this team? Why do they think Sterix is a good item? What the fuck? But then because he burns his stopwatch, I guess decides like, F Sterix, I want my GA so I can keep going for insane plays. Talia's opting for pen build. Once again, she's the only AP on her team, so like, in theory, I think this is fine. Unfortunately for her, I think they need a Leandri's carry to deal with the Renekton. The pen doesn't really matter into a Crown Rise. And Varus is actually building Wit's End, despite there only being one AP carry. I guess maybe like in Vietnam, like this is just the build to go when you're playing attack speed at 80 carries. I think it's kind of troll from both of them, given that there's only one AP champ on the enemy team. I think it's less egregious from Varus, just because she's going full pen, and so like you need some MR somewhere if you don't want to just get one shot. Talia wall pushes forward to try and get the tower. Tahm Kench can eat over the Talia wall, I believe, but also good cleanse by Varus. Can he just kill here? Good Callisto ult to save. TP does come through from the Renekton. A little bit of a team fight going on here, but Renekton just dashes out and all is well. Mountain Drake spawning in 40 seconds. This is the soul, so it's non-negotiable as the fight. Yeah, look at this guy. This dude isn't even the tank build of Renekton, and just ate the entire enemy team's combos for like 40 straight seconds. He just ate damage for like 4 straight seconds and was CC'd and walks away just fine. Bit troll that I has to blow ult and his HP bar after he just TP'd back, but like no Callisto ult or Pantheon ult as well. No cleanse on Varus, that could be big. Pantheon's Rudin is forced to blow the Aegis. Q does a little bit of poke damage onto Hosmed. Wow, the Renekton actually has a monster effing flank. What is this Talia doing, man? Good E to prevent Levi from just one-shotting her. He actually misses the Q2. That could be disastrous. How does he not die here? Holy fuck, the Rise is a madman. He just threw the game. What the fuck? What is he doing? Oh, Levi? Does Levi save the game? Oh, but the Callista's kind of free. Okay, this Callista's trolling. I mean, she gets a Quadra, but I think the fight was played pretty poorly. They do end up getting... No way Levi steals this shit. Yeah, get out of there, buddy. We'll have another look at this. Oh, 3 minutes left in the game. I wonder what happens. Just like a Baron fight and the game's over? Where's the replay? Okay, here it is. So, like, good route from the Rise. Once again, much better positioning. The frontliners are in front of their teams, and the DPS are still in, like, range to damage. Talia W is, like, kind... I think it's important to save the Talia E for Levi's Engage, but it ends up working out slightly in his favor this time around, because it's already back up. They should know the Renekton's coming from base. I guess they're expecting him to walk this way, but he ends up getting like this monster flank onto Froggy. Just dashes in, gets the stun. Cleanse is like, it could have been a little bit quicker, but still decent cleanse. And gets the Renata W onto the Talia. And then the Talia E actually really saves here. Stuns Levi, which allows Aatrox to get a 2-man knockup. Oh my god, Hosmed. Levi should die here. I was wondering why Levi didn't die for this. He gets stunned, right? And then eats a 2-man Aatrox knockup. So, like, first of all, BJ should damage this guy. He just autos, misses. Oh, he misses the Q, and then he misses Q3. If both of those spells hit, Levi's dead. Instead, Levi gets the Gore Drinker off, and then dash away. And then this fucking psychopath decides I'll ult into the entire enemy team because I see a 40% HP Talia. Killing a Talia doesn't even win the fight. And this stage of the game, Shogun's the carry. Like, I don't even think Saigon took this seriously because they didn't think he'd be stupid enough to go through with this. But instead, he does. Does kill the Talia, but gets instantly one-shot. This is where I think it looked a little bit dicey from my perspective. Because, like, while this kick isn't crazy, he just kicks the Renata. What's important is he gets the Renata W out when he hits this Q, right? And without the Renata W on the Callista, I was, like, a little bit worried. She is still full HP, though. And then we see here, good Gore Drinker by the Pantheon, actually. Just Callista things. This is so fucking troll, dude. Like, just go on Levi. I guess this guy doesn't trust Hosmed. Because, like, he's still in rend range. Did he, like, think Hosmed trolled the... I don't know. I think that's troll. Maybe he wanted the Quadra confirmed. But kind of a waste of Shogun's Flash. Plus, it's like... Was it as the Drake died? I don't know if it'll be up if they fight before the Drake spawns. Looks like the Baron call is this from Saigon. They see Connie in the bot lane. They should just be trying to fish out the TP. But for some reason, Renata is in the tri-bush. And they're just forced to run away. They do get the TP, though, which I think should have been their goal to begin with. And then Gigabyte Marines, even with the Scuttle Vision, it looks like they want to take over and start baiting the Baron. Nope. They're just going to leave it alone. Back off. I wonder what item spikes have come through between the last fight and now. We'll just see. Holy fuck, the Quadra kill got the Callista fed as fuck. She managed to get Wit's End and Guardian Angel. This bitch should never die. Unless, like, Levi hits a monster kick, and then they're all ready to capitalize on it, but, like... This Callista's turbo-fed, and everyone's low range. Like, this should be her playground. Needlessly large rod for the Rise. Like, I don't know, man. This guy's going Force of Nature 3rd. Like, if you wanted to go tank, just go Bork Sunfire. I don't know. Gigabyte Marines managed to get push in both mid and top. Looks like Renekton's resetting. Ends up canceling the base. I wonder if they're going to play for the Baron here. We'll see in a second. They're retreating towards the pit. They're probably waiting for the Scuttlecrab to time out before they, like, seriously try and bait anything. Renekton and Rise are basing, though. Just the Renekton DP up as well. WQ comes out from the Varus. Just a little bit of poke damage on the Taki. Oh, what was that? Pops the Shirelius for no reason. Like the Tomcat just sitting behind. You're never going to get a kill there. Even if you did know where the other 3 members of Gigabyte Marines are. Gold's pretty even. Holy shit. What is this Callista doing? Oh my god, dude. Why are you hitting this mid wave when your entire team is clearing vision? Like, I mean, I guess he manages to dodge the... I mean, he would just cleanse it anyways, but still good dodge, but... Like, you don't have flash, man. Luckily, you still have GA. How do they lose this fight? What is... What is Shogun doing, man? Why is he pulling the Renata in every fucking second? Renata ult comes through. Massive Renata ult, by the way. Good eat by to make sure that the Varus doesn't get hit by it. Taliyah is not really doing any meaningful damage in the meantime. Hosmed's just in the middle of it. Actually hits a Q3 for once. How did Shogun die? And go into bailout? Did Aatrox dash on him? Flash on him? Levi hits a Q, Rise roots. Oh my god. Didn't dodge the Lee Sin Q. And they're just wiped because the Kalista should have turbo carried this game, and that's just it. Wow. Really decisive engage by Gigabyte Marines, though. Like, I don't know, Shogun's trolling his team. But, GG nonetheless.